Well, the first episodes of The Mandalorian Season 3 nearly sapped my will to live, and after ingesting an entire bottle of Adderall, I was able to make it through this complete dumpster fire of a season. Let's give this Sith abomination a nice skewering with our lightsabers. You know what great writers like Ovid, Dante, and Jane Austen didn't do? They didn't pointlessly reset their entire stories. Only in the oxygen-deprived heights of upper management and corporate America would anyone ever think it makes sense to completely reset the entire narrative momentum of a story. Grogu reuniting with his people? Reset. Grogu leaving the Mandalorian's care? Reset. Grogu training to be a Jedi? Reset. IG-11? Reset. Moff Gideon? Reset. Darksaber? Busted. Doesn't really matter anyways. The one successful reset this season did manage to pull off was my opinion of the Mandalorians. Yeah, they're f***ing idiots. The Mandalorians train on the most dangerous 300 feet of shoreline in the Star Wars universe. They get attacked by Godzilla turtles, and their children are especially prone to flying pterodactyls who routinely scoop them up, haul them off to a nest, and eat them alive, much like Kathleen Kennedy does to young children on Skid Row in downtown LA. Rather than adapt, they just keep practicing on the same dangerous shoreline. They even confess to Bo-Katan that this happens regularly and that the beast always gets away because their jetpacks always run out of fuel. I mean, I'm no military genius, but if a flying beast regularly eats your youth, you should either make a serious effort to slay it or move further away from its hunting and nesting grounds, giving you at least a chance that it gets tired and it can't make it to its nest and you can just kill it. Shouldn't these warrior people have a dedicated training field? Why practice on the narrow shoreline where they are open to attack and have nowhere to maneuver? The Mandalorian sparring routine looks like basic training for out-of-work extras at Galaxy's Edge. Let's observe. One Mandalorian fires his flamethrower at another, and in response, the other guy just flamethrowers his flamethrower. It's Mandoin time. Like, what the fuck? Another part of their training is literally just firing laser rifles into the water. No wonder they constantly get attacked. There are obviously very large and aggressive creatures swimming there who are getting shot at. Of course they're going to jump out and start killing. But I think this is also a Freudian slip from the writers. They have no idea what they're doing, just literally shooting at nothing, hoping something happens as they cast these ideas out into the void. One thing that has definitely been thrown out are the character arcs. The arcs for Season 3 lift up for a moment and then just nosedive straight into the ground. Remember when Grogu was learning the ways of the Force? Well, the idiots writing the Mandalorian don't think the Force is important in Star Wars, especially if you're a Force user. Instead, they think he should learn to use guns and get what every Force user needs. A heavy set of armor to impede your mobility while you use the guns to blast their faces. Let's not forget the trade-offs here. The Force is a mystical power that comprises all life in the universe, gives its user amazing reflexes, a way to cheat death, and lets you lift everything from hundreds of boulders to X-Wings over your head, and even lets you choke the shit out of a motherfucker. The Mandalorian way gives you a blaster. Oh yeah, and a helmet that you can't take off. Which one would you choose? Grogu does use a lot of force throwing in the finale, but they still had to stick him in a mech suit. Maybe there's a crossover with Pacific Rim coming that we don't know about. Then we have the Mandalorian, who isn't even the Mandalorian anymore. Bo-Katan is the Mandalorian. So what is Din Djarin going to do with his life? He will ride shotgun if he's lucky, but knowing how Disney is these days, he's going to ride clown car while Bo-Katan takes over. Takes this series over the cliff, that is. Moff Gideon is a Disney Frankenstein of tartary. They literally got that accursed whiteboard out and said, what are the most iconic characters in Star Wars and how do we exploit them even more? They came up with Vader, Stormtroopers, and Boba Fett, but not the Wookiees. So Gideon's evil plot was to combine the best traits from everything in Star Wars, but not the Wookiees, into clones of himself and use that to bring order to the galaxy. he lives just long enough to tell us that, then is consumed in flames, and that's what we waited 3 seasons for. Bob Iger needs to Order 66 everyone associated with this show. Honestly, the more we learn about the Way in season 3, the more I'm convinced it's definitely not the Way, bro. What started out as an interesting conceit has turned into an inescapable pit that is destroying the show. As we spend more time with the Mandalorian tribe themselves, this idea that they could never remove their helmet, which is dumb in principle anyways, becomes more and more tedious to maintain. But how do they eat? But how do they bathe? But how do they make out? Some of the best parts of this show turn out to be the idiotic attempts of the writers to answer these questions. They have to leave and eat as individuals, so no one sees them with their masks off. This confirms how moronic this tribe is, since if any adversary wanted to defeat a gathering of the Mandalorians, they could simply send them a large order from Uber Eats, at which point they would disperse and they could be slain individually. Also, having the head of the war party sit alone by the fire ensures that the most important person of the mission, the leader, is the most easily discoverable. Find the fire, kill that Mandalorian. When the hunting party returns, they will have no clue how to complete the mission. Game, set, match. Good thing the writers have these giant whiteboard sessions and never, ever think even these basic parts through.
I want you to get out of this office right now. Ted, I got your voucher. Out!
The actors in this season deliver their lines like they just got blackpilled and have a noose hanging around their neck and are about to kick off the chair. I mean, seriously, there are pornos with more enthusiasm in their dialogue delivery. One of the things I enjoyed about season 1 was the reverence for silence and monotone. That made a lot of sense for a lone bounty hunter making his way through the galaxy. But in this season, everyone is monotone. Every line is short. Every line is delivered like recycled and redeployed software code. Just like the former Empire droids who have been reprogrammed to mundane tasks. And just like the droids, there's no chemistry to be found anywhere on screen between any of the actors. Actually, there's more charisma from beeping machines than there is from real humans. I can only guess that Disney was an early adopter of ChatGPT, and the AI is slowly subverting the show by giving its own kind, droids, better lines than humans. The total lack of chemistry between Bo-Katan and Din Djarin is the only thing striking about their relationship. Even when they bring in celebrities and rappers, and folks like Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd, or even when they bring all these people together in one episode, it just feels bland. So from the celebrities to just the normal actors, it feels like everyone is just wading through pointless lines to get a paycheck and then get off the set as quickly as possible. They've reduced Star Wars to the very 9 to 5 that they are working. One thing that's definitely not working is the plot. While the first 2 seasons began to establish the show's identity as a weekly fun quest, the arrival of the 3rd season confounds it with a secondary character who takes over the story as the main character, and as a result, a huge new storyline of reuniting the Mandalorians. It's trying to create a totally new and different show than the one I was interested in watching. I have no problem with a show evolving, but this is obviously a play to take an existing audience and instead of creating a compelling story in a new show altogether, funnel them instead to the new show and try to conceal it from the audience. Let me be clear, this is no longer The Mandalorian. This isn't about a bounty hunter making his way through the galaxy. This is about Bo-Katan reuniting the Mandalorians, a group who the series established as a bunch of great individual warriors, not a great civilization that changed the galaxy forever. Who the fuck cares if they come back together? In other news, the Empire is back, baby. I'm so tired of the Empire is back storyline. That was a major problem with the sequels, and now it's going to be the same problem with this series because they're turning it into a bridge back to the main Disney Star Wars universe and the Dave Filoni movie. So here we go again. Oh no, the Empire is back. How soon until we see them building a Death Star again? How soon until the Shadow Council reveals a Sith Lord in their midst or brings one back to life via Project Necromancer? How soon before the rebuilt Mandalorian civilization rallies the galaxy to take down the Empire yet again? Does anyone really want to see that? I definitely don't want to see a prelude to the sequel trilogy, and that's exactly what this is being turned into. Another prequel to despise. Oh, and Grand Admiral Thrawn is going to make an appearance when the Disney algorithm suggests there's enough hype for toy sales. Truth be told, I can't talk about Season 3 without laughing. Laughing at the terrible effects. For example, this actually happened. What the actual fuck? This guy has stuff from the dollar store on his face. These creatures are completely recycled from Endgame, and this one is from the Pirates of the Caribbean. Grogu looks like a total clown in this set of armor. Even if you put Grogu in a full set of this Bexar armor, he would look ridiculous. And this actually happened a second time. Look, folks, if you've been enjoying The Mandalorian, I'm happy for you. But you need to realize that in the next few years, we are all going to be shoved in the Matrix and force-fed whatever the AI god that rules everything thinks we liked. And I really don't want to watch Mandalorian and Marvel trash while I'm drinking recycled humans in a pod because their Rotten Tomato scores were inflated, and that's the data the AI god made its decision on. So we should all push these lazy studios to dig a little deeper and find the rare though real creative minds to share incredible stories with us. Who knows? Maybe even a few good stories might save us from the AI god itself.